that hadn't won a race prior to April the 24th, 2016, acts as a stepping stone between last season's novices before they have to move up and take on fully fledged handicappers. In its old days, it was won by some of the great names when it was a conditions race like Comedy of Errors and Lanzarote. This year's field, headed up by Charlie Parcs for Noel Feely. Number 2 is High Bridge, Alex Ferguson claiming £7. 3 for the North, Mount Mews for Brian Hughes and Malcolm Jefferson. 4, Amour, Nuit, Harry Cobden. 5, Poppy K, Richard Johnson. 6, Master of Irony, Davy Russell. And number 7, there's a jockey change on the bottom one. Wayne Hutchinson had a fall earlier. Cosmopolitan is now being ridden by Tom Bellamy, so we'll try and get an update on that because he was due to ride La Belle des Obeaux in the Ladbrokes Trophy. So 7 runners, 2 miles half a furlong. They start just the other side of one flight of hurdles.
Just picking up again with High Bridge in the light blue colours. Could you describe him? And I think another thing interesting about him is mum, Amour, won 1,000 guineas. Flat tracks, Newbury perfect for him. Could he be a flat track bully, do you think?
Well, they'll be hoping so today. Anybody who's backed him, Richard Hiles will be calling them home. Young Alex Ferguson, what a great day this is for him. And, you know, it's when you're a young lad and you're a £7 claimer and you come here on Hennessy Day and you're riding a horse as a favourite, there's a lot of pressure on him. And he'll be just hoping that he gets everything right, sees the strides that he's supposed to see and delivers this horse perfectly. The great thing is with Newbury, the one thing you must not do here is concede ground going around the bends. Give yourself something to aim at when you get in the straight, and then off you go. What
about the others, Luke, as they make their way out onto the track? Amour, Nuit, for example.
Yeah,
useful on the flat.
Yeah, very good horse on the flat. 106 on the flat. One at Kempton, won nicely. Mount Mews, give a mention for that one. He's won 3 of his 6 starts. Ran a great race at Aintree behind Pink Shoe. I agree with you, though. I think High Bridge, it's not a flat track. He'd go on any track. He's a straightforward sort of horse. This, you know, he's obviously won here, but I think he could be a very, very exciting horse this year.
Plenty of people think Charlie Parcs is exciting. He's 4-1. High Bridge is the 9-4 favourite in a race that Nicky Henderson has won 6 times. The latest renewal in the company of Richard Hiles.
Thanks, Ed. Yes, the runners clustered up and they're walking forward. There was no obvious pace in this contest, so it'll be interesting to see who does grasp the nettle. No one appears that much of a hurry. High Bridge, Alex Ferguson, the tape's released and they're all having a look around. This was semi-predictable. Best thing to do is just go off in front, poach a few free lengths, look at the back. Charlie Parcs, Poppy K's riders, both looking across at one another. And High Bridge has been handed a pretty soft lead and he's having a good look around him on the run down towards the first. Mount Mews towards the inside with Amour de Nuit as they rise at flight number 1. Over in 4th is Cosmopolitan. A reminder now the mount of Tom Bellamy. Danny Mullins will ride La Belle des Obeaux later on in the Ladbrokes Trophy. Back of the field, held up early on, is Master of Irony. So they're broken into 2 distinct groups, but that's not because it's a breakneck pace by any means. High Bridge leading by a length from Amour de Nuit and Mount Mews, and they have been handed a pretty cheap advantage, to be honest, of 5 to 6 lengths over Cosmopolitan in 4th. 5th place on the outside is Poppy K, and behind these in the inner is Charlie Parcs under restraint on the inside of Master of Irony. So round the turn they go. 4 flights of hurdles in the back straight. High Bridge out in front, leading by just over a length. Amour de Nuit on the outside of Mount Mews, disputing 2nd place as High Bridge is just asked to go a little bit faster out in front as they head towards the 2nd. High Bridge a little bit close there. Over in the lead, Cosmopolitan racing keenly in 4th, just breezily pecked. High Bridge just being asked to accelerate again between the flights of hurdles. High Bridge leading from Amour de Nuit and Mount Mews as they head on towards the 3rd flight. And again, High Bridge just putting himself right. Over in 4th place, Cosmopolitan ahead of Poppy K. Then we have on the inside Charlie Parcs and the rear of the field for Master of Irony. Heading down the back straight. And High Bridge encouraged along by his rider, but he hasn't really met the last couple of flights on a decent stride. Let's see how he copes with this one, leading by a couple of lengths from Amour de Nuit and Mount Mews. They're all pretty good over that. Again, Cosmopolitan was a little slower. So no real change in the play here. High Bridge setting an even pace. It's not a crawl. Mount Mews in 2nd place, travelling well for Brian Hughes, Malcolm Jefferson in those Trevor Hemmings quarters colours. And Amour de Nuit continues to dispute 2nd place. Last on the far side, good lead by High Bridge there. Good lead as well by Poppy K, who's hurdled fluently down the back. She is in 4th place ahead of Cosmopolitan. No move yet from Charlie Parcs, who's still in 6th place, and Master of Irony is at the back of the field. So 3 to take. Highbridge a long run before they encounter the third last, just being asked to try and stretch them here slightly, but continues to lead by a couple of lengths. Out Mews on the inside of Amour as they turn down the side of the racecourse. Cosmopolitan disputing fourth at this stage with Poppy K, and now Charlie Parcs just getting a little bit closer in 6th place. And last of the 7 is Master of Irony. So Highbridge out in front, seems to be encouraged along, but hasn't shaken off by any means the pursuers as yet. Amour and Mount Mews, Cosmopolitan, Poppy K, Charlie Parcs, and Master of Irony as they make the turn. They've got 3 flights of hurdles to take. Highbridge out in front, Mount Mews and Amour who still travel strongly, Cosmopolitan, Poppy K, then Charlie Parcs. This is going to turn into a relative dash, so hurdling will be important, and they all jump that well. Highbridge out in front, Mount Mews just shaken up for the first time. They're all bunching in behind the leader, Charlie Parcs, showing that acceleration which has caught Nicky Henderson's eye in the mornings, now improving on the right-hand side, going to Highbridge as they race towards the second last. Highbridge, pale blue, takes it in front. Charlie Parcs away to the right-hand side, dashes on down towards the last. Then Amour heading down towards the final flight of hurdles. Highbridge out in front. Charlie Parcs away to the far side. Then Amour and then behind these Cosmopolitan. This is the last. Highbridge in the pale blue sails over it in front. Charlie Parcs pitches slightly on landing, still over a furlong to go. And out in front, it's Highbridge in the pale blue. Charlie Parcs over on the far side is trying to now to throw down a challenge. Still out in front is Highbridge from Charlie Parcs. Poppy K's back in third. Highbridge maintaining a 3/4 of a length advantage on the run to the line from Charlie Parcs. And Highbridge it is who wins. Charlie Parcs was second. Poppy K, bit of an eye-catching run from the worst position, Master of Irony, who has flashed home in 4th place. And they've all finished in a heat in behind. It was tactical, and Alex Ferguson kept it simple, went out on the front end and had enough to repel a series of challengers. And another big smile. We had Bryony Frost delighted. We'll no doubt have Alex Ferguson delighted here for informed Ben Pauling, racing in the colours of his grandmother, Margaret Ferguson, and Highbridge was classy enough to see them all off up the run.
It's a theme this season. These young jockeys are good, and that is a big moment for Alex Ferguson. You saw the punch of the air, as Richard said. His